Hello, sophomores. Thank you for taking some time to view our English 3-4 Plan for Student Success today. You just had about 10 minutes to individually go through that document and read it yourself. It's a very necessary and important document as it lays out all of the expectations, policies, and procedures in order for you to be successful in this class. So I highly encourage you to go back and read through that as you need to. What I'm going to do during this pre-recorded overview is I'm just going to provide some insight and some deeper understanding of some of the really important parts of the plan for success. So what I would like you to do, this will take no longer than 15 minutes. What I would like you to do is grab a piece of paper and something to write with, and I'd like you to jot down 3 things that are important that you heard as we went over the plan for success, and 1 question you have. I would like you to bring your questions and your 3 things back to our large group conversation when we come back from break. Here we go. So English 3-4 is broken down into 4 units. Unit 1 is self-discovery. Unit 2, personal identity and philosophy. Unit 3 is cultural identity. And Unit 4 is identifying with others. Now, with our new block schedule and our 9-week classes, right now our goal is to get Unit 1 and Unit 2 completed within the first 9 weeks of school. Obviously, we are online for the first 9 weeks of school, but our goal is still to get through Unit 1 and Unit 2. If we don't get through Unit 1, that's okay. If we don't get through Unit 2, that's okay. We will definitely get through Unit 1. In Unit 1, you see a cover on your screen of a book we are going to be reading called Like Water for Chocolate. This is one of my favorite books. I think all of you will like it very much. Obviously, we're online, so you will have a PDF electronic copy of this book, but you are more than welcome to go onto Amazon or use Bookstore and purchase your own copy for cheap if you like, but it's not required at this point. I want to talk about our timeline real quick so you understand how grades will be working. For the first 9 weeks of school, we're going to call that quarter 1. For the second 9 weeks of school, we're going to call that quarter 2. So remember, in between quarter 1 and quarter 2 is your fall break. Quarter 1 is English 3. Quarter 2 is English 4. And so you see my little graphic on the screen. I try to give that to you so you have an understanding of how you earn credit for this class. And I'm going to talk about that on the next slide. So again, remember that in quarter 1, we are focusing on English 3 curriculum. On quarter 2, we're focusing on English 4 curriculum. So technically, English 3 and English 4 are 2 separate classes that make up 1 English credit. How many credits can you earn from this class? Just like last year, you are able to earn 1 English credit per year, right? So like the slide previously, you saw that in quarter 1, if you pass your first 9 weeks of English 3, you get half a credit. In quarter 2, if you pass 9 weeks of English 4, you get another half of credit. When we add those 2 credits together, you have 1 whole English credit. So for the next 18 weeks, we will be together completing English 3 and English 4, okay? After Christmas break, you will not have an English class for the remainder of the school year. You'll have a different class. So we are together for the first 18 weeks of school, and then after Christmas break, you are moving on to a new class. Our grading scale, this is pretty common throughout all of your classes, but I just wanted to make sure that we are all on the same page. For those of you who had me last year as an English teacher, this is the same. So in order to earn an A in the class, you need to have an overall percentage of 100 to 90%. And if you're in that range, that means you are exceeding expectations. In order to earn a B, you need to fall in the 89 to 80% percentage range, which means you are performing above expectations. A C would be 79 to 70, which means you're meeting expectations, but those of you, or all of us, we should be shooting for above C's. A D would be 69 to 68%, and that means you're getting closer to the expectations, you're approaching the standards, and unfortunately, if you fall below a 60%, you are now in that F range, and you are falling below our expectations. Remember, after 9 weeks, okay, after the first quarter, you will be issued a final grade for English 3. If you do not pass with a D or better, you will have to make up the English 3 credit. So if that's confusing, I want you to jot that down really quickly. You can pause this video at any time if something's confusing to you. But that is where we're going to stop right there. In regards to our grade categories and weights, so I want you to notice that there are only really 2 types or 2 categories of grades in this class. You're going to have a grade that goes under performance, and you're going to have a grade that goes under what we call practice. Again, those of you last year who had me for freshman English, this should look very familiar to you. So every time we look in the grade book and you see assignment in there, underneath the title of that assignment, it's either going to say performance or it's going to say practice. Now, looking at this screen, which of the 2 categories is worth more value in this class? You should have noticed that the performance category is worth 60% of your total grade. The practice category is worth 40% of your total grade. So performance is worth more in this class. I'm going to talk about quickly what goes in those categories too. So performance, what goes in your performance grade? Tests and quizzes, essays that we do, any projects that we do, and short writing assignments. All those things are going to go directly in the performance category. This is where I'm going to see how well you're learning. I'm going to test your knowledge, I'm going to test your abilities, and those assignments will go in this category. In the practice category, pretty much everything else will go in this category. So bell work, we may have some short writing for bell work, we may have some grammar for bell work. Your bell work will go in there. Anything we do online class, participations, class discussions, group activities, handouts, anything that is getting us ready for our performance is considered practice. So anything that we do in class that's going to help us do better on our big projects, our tests or essays, that's considered practice. So 2 categories, guys, performance and practice. Performance is 60% of your overall grade and practice is 40%. Last but not least, we have the final breakdown. And so I want you to understand how this works. So when we think about your overall grade, right, you know your categories now. Okay, you know what they're valued in. Now I want you to think about what is your final grade. Okay, so 90%, which is a huge chunk of your grade, is based on what you do in the first 9 weeks in this class. You'll see that 10% is your final. 10% is your district exam. Okay, so the final exam for this class for English 3 does count. It will go in the grade book, but it's only 10%. So it's not going to kill you. Attendance. Now, I want to be very clear on this. This part of the attendance is the same for every class, not only every class, but every class in the entire district. Our attendance policy is a district policy. And so this is not something that Mr. Arenas came up with or any of your other teachers came up with. This is coming from the Phoenix Union High School District. And so I want to be very clear with this. Okay? Absent is being defined as not being in a class or a class activity for more than half of the period. So think about this, guys. We have 90-minute periods right now. Okay? That means if you aren't in the class halfway through at 45 minutes, you are considered absent. Okay, you are considered absent. Now, that doesn't mean if you come in, at 44 minutes or 43 minutes, I'm not going to mark you absent or late, but I want you to understand that this is the district policy. So if you say, "Oh, mister, I was there for the last 30 minutes and I got my assignment done," that's great. I'm glad you were, but that's still being absent. Also, if you look at the third bullet point on the slide, you are only allowed 12 absences, whether they are excused or unexcused, before you're in danger of losing credit for this course. If you have 12 or more absences, there is a strong possibility that you will lose credit for this course. We're going to skip this slide. I'm going to come back and talk to you guys about this. This slide is actually not for you. This slide is for a different group of kids that I'm teaching, but there is a makeup policy, and if you look in the plan for success, you'll see that there's 7 days. So I want you to pause for a second. I want you to go to the plan for success, and I want you to just read where it says makeup policy, because this policy is actually for my seniors, not for my sophomores, and so yours is different. So please go and read that right now. Academic misconduct, aka cheating. Guys, I need you to do your work and your work only. Academic misconduct can be anything regarding cheating, regarding turning in someone else's work, regarding taking someone else's work and maybe saying that it was your work, directly copying and paste, going online and finding something and then putting that into your work. That is considered academic misconduct. And so it's really important that we go through this class with some integrity, and it's really important that you are not doing any of the things that I just mentioned. Those things will result in a parent conference. They will likely result in a referral, and they could even result in loss of credit for this course. Acknowledgement. So back when we were in person, guys, and even last year, you were given a hard copy, a paper copy of your plan for student success. And you know from last year that you were supposed to take that document home, you were supposed to read it with your family, and you were supposed to sign it, and you were supposed to get a parent or guardian signature. You know that as well. Now, obviously, with us being online this year, that makes things a little bit more difficult. So I'm not going to make you print anything and your parents sign it and then you somehow email it or scan it back to me. We're not going to do that. We're going to move forward with an electronic signature, and that's going to be in the shape of a Microsoft form. Just like the survey you guys did for me on the first day of class, it's going to look like that. So I will send you 2 links. I will put 2 links in our class notebook. One is for you to click and sign. You're just going to type your name. And then one is for your parents to click and type their name as well. These 2 forms will serve as our electronic signatures, and that will tell me that you and your parent know exactly what's expected in order for you to be successful in this course. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me talk about our plan for success. This is not the most exciting topic in the world, but it is important for you to be successful in this class. So remember what I told you at the beginning of our presentation. I would like you to make sure you have a few important things jotted down on a piece of paper or in your notebook. And I would also like you to come back to our live class with one question you have for me. One question or one comment or something that's even confusing to you. So go ahead and stop this video and take a second to do that for me, please. See you soon.